got 25 minutes. We got to go.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone.
Hump day. Welcome, guys.
Super excited to see you. If this is your first time here, let me be the first person to welcome you to Say That Channel, where we are unapologetic about talking about the ugly come up of entrepreneurship. So, we've all heard those stories about how people start from nothing and then have massive success. But what happens in the middle? What happens during the ugly come up? What's the mindset you need to have? What are the problems you need to circumvent? That is what we are here to talk about. So my name is Janelle. That over there is Winston Broderick. We are your hosts for the other side. I'm sorry for say that. So what we typically do is we have a topic question of the day, and we get to chat and discuss and learn from each other. And oftentimes we have a guest. And we go for 25 minutes answering the question topic of the day. And what happens when we run out of time? Oh no, what do we do? Well, you just hop on over to Patreon. You can follow us where we do all of our overtime interviews with our guests there. We have a treasure trove of really amazing information over there. So if you're an entrepreneur, join the community over on Patreon and get to learn from each other, from other entrepreneurs just like you, who are in it just like you, and we're all learning from each other. So really excited to see all of you there later today as well.
Say that. Let's jump into the topic for today.
Are you talking about your business or are you doing your business? Let's talk about it.
Talk about it.
So it is not just me and Winston today. We have an amazing guest with us. She is a CPA. She is a paid professional speaker, and she's an entrepreneur. Everybody, please welcome to the stage, Rachel Hooks.
Our next guest.
Hi, do you want to know one of the strategies to building wealth? Keep listening.
Hey, there she is.
Welcome in, Rachel.
So
hello.
Super excited to have you on the show. And so there are several people who are watching you and getting to know you for the first time. So if you could share with us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, how you got here.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here at Say That. My entrepreneurial journey starts when I was 5-6 years old. My mother used to sell perfume out of the little container. I don't know if you all remember that back in the 70s, 80s time frame. She was like one of those perfume ladies. So my journey starts back remembering her doing that and selling donuts for the church contribution. And she sold candy apples. I remember standing on the corner selling apples. And so that kind of led me to know that I did not want to go into selling, but what did help me to learn about what I wanted to do is accounting. And so I love numbers, love to do that. When I was 7-8 years old, I found out about this company where children could sell items from a catalog and they get $2 for every item they sold. So that is what I did. And I'm like, oh, I can make my own money. I could buy some things. So that is what helped me along my journey to learn about entrepreneurship. And then when I was in college, I used to read Black Enterprise magazines, and I would just be wowed by all of the executives and entrepreneurs, Earl Graves and his letter that he put in the front, senior. So that is what fueled my energy to want to start a business, to learn about, business and getting started and building an empire. I wanted to name my business Enterprise, but somebody told me that is a term. So I had to change it to Palmer Hooks.
I love that.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, so you can see then, for those of you who are watching, why Rachel would be an amazing person to answer today's question, which is, are you talking about your business or are you doing your business? Tell us, Rachel, what are your thoughts?
Yes. So, Janelle, sadly, I started speaking. Actually, I've been in Toastmasters now for 7-8 years. And so I knew like being on stage and speaking to people was who I was. I always been on stage since I was a child, singing at church, giving speeches, quoting scriptures, all of these types of things. But I needed to hone my craft in on writing a speech. And so then I joined Toastmasters to learn how to write a speech. And then the delivery part I kind of had because growing up, I had really good people who kind of trained me on stage presence, emotion, evoke emotions, and all of that. And so I gave a speech at Lincoln University in the Philadelphia area, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm gonna do it. So it was 2020 February, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna work towards this Toastmasters accredited speaker program. I have to do 25 speaking engagements. Yes, that was my first one. I'm gonna knock it in and do it. Pandemic hits. And I'm like, oh no, I can't go out and really launch, my speaking career to talk on personal finances and help people to kind of level up. But then I talked to my mentor, so the year started going. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. 2021 passes, 22 passes, and like 23 passes, and so then I have this program that I do. So I did that, a speak program for high school students, and teaching them how to communicate, share their ideas, and communicate with presence on stage. So I did that. And then my mentor in Toastmasters heard me do a speech within one of our clubs. And she's, Rachel, what's holding you back? Why aren't you there? Wake up call for me to go to do it. I have an accountability partner who's been an entrepreneur for several years, and we would talk about where we were in our progress. And she's like, Rachel, what you have your license? Do you do this? Do you do that? So it was really like a in your face moment for me. Like, I know I'm working, I still have a full-time job, but I've got to carve out some time and do this if this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. So it was a wake up call for me to just stop making excuses, get out and get it done. And I really like Brian Tracy's book, if you have not read it, called No Excuses. It is a phenomenal, like, kick you in the butt. Go out there and start doing what you said you want to do. Like, stop making the excuses and do it. It's easier to talk about it, but doing it takes intentional, focused work that we just have to do as entrepreneurs if we say we want to be in business.
What was some of the self-talk, though, that was going on that was keeping you
I was going to ask the same question.
From taking that step?
The self-talk, there's a bit of fear that you can have as an entrepreneur. But then also for me, the excuses I would say is my work is demanding. So within my day-to-day job, I manage the finances for 7 different VPs. And yes, it does sometimes have me up late hours and weekends and working and things like that. But if this is my passion, like, I had to carve out some time and figure out how to work and get myself scheduled to be able to do this, kind of extra business, this business on the side. So the self-talk was more about, I've got to get this deadline in. I've got to close the books. I've got to do this reconciliation. I've got to reply back to doing this scenario analysis for my leadership. So that was some of the excuses. Part of it was kind of like, okay, from a professional speaking standpoint, will I be received well? Are people going to hear me or listen to me? I'm not this person who's been on social media for all of these years and for a very long time. So that was also like, okay, if my target audience for speaking is young professional and college students, like, I've got to put myself out there. And so also having the courage to say, yes, I'm going to do this, and hearing inspiring messages has helped to transition me from talking to taking action. I think one of the other books that I've listened to last year was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Do It Anyway, yeah.
By Susan Jetters. Yeah. So, yeah, that was some of the talk, is like, I've got all of this work that I need to do. I'm also in other organizations. Like, I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I do chapter work. I do church work. So it's like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
But it's like, when will you make time if this is what you said you want to do? So that is kind of like the conversation and things that was going on in my mind, and that I needed to move from talking about it, which was easy, to actually doing the work and putting myself out there and doing the business.
Yeah. Good
So
stuff.
first of all, I just want to say, if this is relatable to you, if anyone's out here listening to this and thinking, "Oh man, I've totally been there. I've had those exact same thoughts." Please put "same" in the comments so we know that we're not alone out here. um, I'm curious. The time aspect. I think a lot of people, especially, see, we already have a same. Thanks, Donnelly. Same from C.S. Bailey. Um, I I think I've met a lot of entrepreneurs who have but I've got this going on, I've got that going on. My 9 to 5. Tell us what it looks like when you decide, when you make the decision. When you make the decision, no, this is actually what I'm going to do. What does the voice in your head sound like in terms of time and all those things?
In terms of time, it's organizing, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
putting things in perspective. So I have to have a firm cutoff when I'm going to stop my 9 to 5 working, right? I have to have a
Mm,
cutoff of when I'm going to do this organization work versus this organization work. And so what I've been able to do is putting together a day-to-day schedule. Like, this is my cutoff. This is what I'm going to eat dinner. This is when I'm going to work out, because health is important, right?
mhm.
So that's my new normal. And I think what else helps to stay on track of doing the work is planning, right? You have to plan out what it is that you want to do, what's important. And like those big rocks to small rocks, you put the big rocks in, right? That we learned from Stephen Covey. And then you put all of the other smaller rocks around. So that's my new normal. My new kind of affirmation is, I can do it now,
Nice.
right? And so putting those things in place is like, stop making excuses. So a lot of times we hear different messagings, and we have to fight those negative messages with positive messages. And I heard someone say you have to have 7 positive messages for every one negative message.
Yes, that's right. Hmm.
So if you're not constantly inundating yourself with all of these positive messages, like, I listen to Jim Rohn, I listen to Miles Monroe, I listen to Dennis Kimbrough, I listen to George Fraser, I listen to so many different individuals like Roland Martin. I listen to so many different individuals, Les Brown, Jolly, I can't think of his first name, but international speakers who constantly inundate you with, yes, let's do it, go, do it now. And so then you have this constant backing to all those negative messages you tell yourself, like, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I can't do it, no one wants to hear me, I don't have that much experience. You constantly have that going on, that narrative. You're
Mm-hmm.
pushing through all of the negative to set aside and do the things that you need to do, so that you can make a difference, so that you can have impact in the community, in the marketplace. You can hire individuals and create more equity, equity within this economy. So I think
Hmm.
that's it's really important for us to really settle down and be confident that you can do it. And communities like these are beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Because it's an incubator for ideas, it's an incubator for encouragement, empowerment, and growth.
I love that. Something you touched on earlier, and I don't think we've heard this in a minute, but accountability partners.
Hmm.
How would this may be a two-part question. So one, what is that to you, and how would someone go about finding one?
Hmm.
Sure. And so an accountability partner is someone that will hold you to the fire of what you said you wanted to do. So, for example, you can set up an accountability partner. My accountability partner is someone that I trust. It's a sorority sister. She's been
Okay.
in business for several years. So she's been where I'm trying to go, so to speak,
Okay.
in being set up, being established. And so what we do is we go over our list of goals. This is what we want to do for the year. And then throughout the year, we track and talk about where are you within the goals that you want to do. Like C.S.
Mhm.
Lewis is C.S. Bailey, who's on the line. She's also been an accountability partner, and she was also one that pushed me. It was like, girl, you are phenomenal. You need to get out there and do it. And so when you have that push and you have people doing that, you have those accountability partners, they are the ones that help you to stay in the flow, help you stay on track. So we meet once a month. We meet once a month, or the frequency that works best for you, you do that. And then like you go through that list of what are your goals, what are you trying to do, what do you want to accomplish, who do you want to meet, how much revenue do you want to make, what
Okay.
conference are you going to attend to better yourself, to stay on track, to know what the trends are, how are you going to connect with your audience. So we go through and we talk about things like that, and we have an empowerment where we encourage one another and we say, well, this is what successful people do. So this is what we do. This is who we are. So having an accountability partner helps you to stay on track to the things that you want to do within your business, and it could be in your life. And so how do you find an accountability partner? You look
Yeah.
around for people who is doing what you want to do, but also may not be where you are, or it may be someone who where you are as well. But you also need, that person also needs to have drive. They also
Okay.
need to be a person who is doing actively doing things, because you don't want to be linked to someone that's holding you back, that's not holding you to the fire. So you want somebody who is also actively working in their business, who also has a network and connect you with other people who are doing similar things or not doing similar things. Like for example, book. I want to write a book. I connected with Janelle. Like C.S. Bailey is good in branding, so I connected with her and we've had some conversations. But you want to connect and have accountability partners who may have a different skill set. It's not
Yeah.
a competition where we're not competing with one another. We're complementing one another. We're encouraging one another. We're helping one another. So finding that accountability could be someone in your state. It could be someone outside of your state. It could be someone who you met at a conference, because at
Okay.
conferences like minds come together. So it's important to network. It's important to connect. And that's how you find individuals who are like, yes, that's what I want to do. And I'm sitting and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So you want someone that's going to be a cheerleader as well. And if they're not doing those things, it's time to sever ties, because you don't
Mm.
want to be held to a truck that's dragging you, right? You
Hmm.
want to be
Hmm.
flying on a plane, you want to be going up. So it's very important that you find partners, accountability partners, who will help you to do what you want to do and grow in your business, and help them expand in their business as well. So it's a compliment. It's not just a one-way street.
One thing. Say that. Say that.
I'm curious. So if you have any questions for Rachel, please, 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 I love that she said facts. Um, please go ahead and put them in the comments for Rachel. She would love to answer any of your questions. I'm curious. So I have had a very interesting relationship with accountability partnership. For a long time, I'll be honest, I was scared of it because I felt like I was gonna work with somebody who would then like almost like beat me up for like not doing the things. Like, what do you mean you didn't do the thing that you said you were gonna do? Like, what's wrong with you, huh? Like, it's literally what I expected an accountability partner to do. And I was like, I don't know if I want to sign up for that. I don't know. And
Mm.
I get it. Like, there's some people who maybe they enjoy that type of interaction. Like, that's something that they would like. And I just thought that all accountability partners are like that. I didn't. Anyway, so I'm curious if um if you've ever worked with an accountability partner and maybe it just wasn't a good fit, or what would you say to someone like me who's like scared of an accountability partner?
Good question. So I would say that other person, I probably have seen some aspects of that in me.
Uh,
And I have grown over the years to have grace with people and understanding. So everyone moves at a different pace. And it's important to know you go faster when you have an accountability partner, when you have community around you that you can bounce ideas off of, that you can ask questions, you can talk to them and utilize their network of
mhm.
people. So it's not just what you know and what's in your sphere, but when you have an accountability partner, it expands your network, it expands your knowledge of information, because they may have the book, they may have the resources that will help you get to the next level. And it's
Yeah,
important to tap into and find out, what is that person's superpower? What are they knowledgeable about? What are they passionate about? And do that. So I would say maybe utilize a 6-month trial period to see, is it working? Maybe you're not motivated by that individual, and you could seek out someone else. I think not just accountability partners are good, but mentors are good. I love mentors. I have had mentors all my life, and it has helped me to progress faster because I listen to them and I trust the advice because I know they're looking out for me. So don't just look for accountability partners. I would say also look for good mentors, business mentors that can help you propel.
yeah. I like what you said earlier about uh, learning and having it almost be like a mutual thing. Let me jump to one of the questions in the comments. What persistent activity do you have to do daily to feel like you are growing?
Very good. Thank you, City to Inspire Donnelly. Daily activities. I would my one of my daily activities is to one, like I have a morning ritual of praying, reading the Bible. And then
Mhm.
after that, I listen to an inspirational message. So for a very long time, I would listen to Terry Savelle Foy. She has phenomenal information on what successful people do, on goal setting, inspiration, and all of that. So I always take 10, 20 minutes, or while I'm getting ready for my day, I will listen to an inspirational message. That
Okay.
is part of my daily habit. And it's something that I didn't used to do, that I've done like the last like year and a half, that I would say has transformed me and has helped me to stay positive, to stay motivated, to keep going, to do what I need to do. So right now I'm listening to Jim Rohn, and Miles Monroe will be on my next rotation.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Miles.
Me too.
Yeah, good stuff.
And Jim.
Say that. Another one. As an accountability partner, how do you know when to give grace with the person? Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, nice.
Definitely. How do you know? When you know what's going on in their life. If they've had a change in work where they've lost their job, or their job has gotten to be a lot of work, has gotten busy, if
Hmm.
they are experiencing something within their family, like that's
Mhm.
a time to extend grace. If they're just kicking back, watching TV, oh, did you see the latest episode of this show? Or did you watch this? Or they're posting all of this other stuff on Instagram. It's like, okay, so are you in the business? Are you focused on the
Yeah.
business? Is that important, still important to you? Or did your priorities change? Like, help me understand that. So it's important to understand where the person is coming from, because we're still human. We're still living life. Maybe they had a death in the family. Maybe someone in their family is in the hospital. Like, we
Hmm.
have to extend grace. I remember going back going back to Memphis, when my grandmother passed, and I was out with my sorority sisters, and I was telling them, "Oh, I'm getting ready to launch my business," and they were like, "It will happen in time. Like, don't push yourself. Like, don't put all of this burden on yourself to get it done because you said you have this date." So it's important to understand where that person is coming from, what's going on in their lives, and extending that grace to say, yes, I understand. If we need to reschedule, let's do that. And then maybe give them 2 to 3 months, because maybe their priorities have shifted and they don't want to, or they need you to help them get off the couch. It's like, listen, we're going to have a face to face, me and you.
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on. And then you can decide if you want to sever the partnership, not the relationship, because we don't want to leave people in a bad state. But you can decide at that point if you want to continue, or you could just still remain friends, but the accountability part ends.
That
All
went
right.
super fast.
It definitely did. All right. So before I definitely have a question, but before we go to that, I do want to make sure people can connect with you. So
There's
here's
her
Instagram,
ID.
on
Yes,
TikTok.
at Palmer Hooks LLC on all channels. I'd be happy to
Absolutely.
connect with everyone.
Definitely make sure you guys reach out.
She is a real person. She will respond.
Yes, I am a real person, and I have to say, part of my journey started talking, and helping businesses with their business plan years ago. I had an entrepreneur, Chris Lee, who was phenomenal with helping small businesses grow their business, and he saw that I had an accounting background. It's like, oh, you want to do this? And he brought me along to teach a class to small businesses. And so that is part of my business, Palmer and Hooks LLC, is to help businesses from a financial management standpoint.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's
So
so,
definitely reach out to Rachel.
well, I'm actually happy that that's where you went, because my question did pertain to the fact that as a CPA, there's the numbers aspect, which I think a lot of people, they're excited about launching a business, but there is that part of it that they don't necessarily understand and are very new to. And I wonder how that influences the talks you do and the education that you're passing on to kids. But we will not be answering that on this side. You guys got to join us on Patreon for that. But please show some love to Rachel in the comments. This was an absolutely great conversation. I can't wait to get to the rest of it. But for everyone else, you already know, as always, remember, you deserve the good life. Say that.
Say that.
We'll see you guys soon.